All right. We are doing some Linux utility work today. I'll touch a little bit, give updates on the Windows utility as well. But yeah, a few things behind the scenes here. I've just been trying different things out. I haven't made a video in like 2 or 3 weeks, but um, not without trying. So yeah, so we'll see. I'm trying a different scene on both YouTube and Twitch. So we'll see how this goes. I've changed my lighting around too and some other things, but oh man, I just am so just haven't gotten as much done as I wanted. So anyways, let's make sure everything goes live here and we should be good. All right. A couple things I need to add and change. I'm going to change my default terminal in my Linux. And I've been using Warp Terminal for a little bit, but I like Warp, but I think I like Alacrity better for just Linux content, just because it's just so much faster and more performant. Minimal, of course. Warp does a lot of things, but being fast, you really can't compete with Alacrity or even Kitty in that regard. Hey, Zaz, how's it going? Let me see. All right, that looks good. Pig, how you doing? Make sure everything's good there. All right, it looks like we're good everywhere. So it's been dude, I think it's been almost a month since my last live stream. I'm sorry y'all. I'm gonna get better. I think I'm gonna probably just do more off the cuff streams where I need to get work done on my projects, and I haven't been getting as much programming done as I like, and I'm gonna get better about that. I was watching something the other day, and Stephen King wakes up and writes 2,000 words every single day. And I love that. It's about getting those reps in. So I think a lot of my stuff, I'm going to be trying to program more and more. So we'll see. But yeah. Anything new on the hub since been over there? Not so much. Not so much yet. I need to get better about that. Mathis, thanks for the resub, man. 20 months. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. All right, well, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better about it. Again, more programming streams on the way for sure, just because I need to get more work done. And I thought, well, I'll stop streaming and I'll get more work done, because that's less work, so it'll give me more time to do more work over here. Again, apparently, I have something broken in my brain to where if you give me too much free time, I get nothing done. It's so bizarre. Like, I think of when I was most performant, or when I was most productive, was when I had a full-time job working, probably about 50 hours a week. And then I was making a YouTube video every single day. And I was just getting so much work done. Like, lots and lots of work. And I just had no time to breathe. And that was when I worked the best. And then when you give me all the time in the world to accomplish anything, at the end of the day, I don't get anything done. I don't understand how that works, but apparently something's broken in my brain, and that's how I work. Are we doing YouTube this stream? Yeah, I'll upload the YouTube videos to members only on the main channel, just to have it there. But yeah, streaming it to YouTube is just not worth. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Let's just put it that way. It's too much of a headache for me. So I'll leave it members only over there just so I have historical record of it. But for the most part, it's all just going to be Twitch, mostly just so I get some work done. It'll be there, but yeah, it'll be more from a oh geez, yeah, from a historical standpoint, so I can look back on streams, or if I need to pull up something from a stream, I'll have it there. But yeah, members only, which I only have like maybe 20 members on YouTube or something. So I don't anticipate much in the way of YouTube chat, but maybe somebody from YouTube will pop in. Yeah, maybe not. We'll see. Either way, I have it up, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Why aren't you streaming on YouTube anymore? Google has a kind of a strange algorithm, and how some people do it is they have like second channels, which I've tried. More successful streamers than me, I would say, is like Theo does a pretty good job of it. Primogen does a good job of it. But what they do is they curate YouTube videos during their stream, and then they chop that out and put it on their channels. And then usually all that is done, which is great. And if you have a team of people, that works. I do not. I don't want a team. I don't want an editor. Please don't email me asking me, say I do thumbnails or edit videos. I just have zero interest in that. And since I don't, it just doesn't work. I don't know how else to put it. It's just, yeah, putting it over there, it just causes more problems than anything. I guess I get a little bit extra money is the benefit of doing that, but it causes more issues when you go to search videos and other things. So it's like, screw it. So that's the gist of it. Yeah, I haven't posted in a little while. It has. I've had a couple videos that I've made this past month that just didn't work out. And I hate it when that happens. Like I dedicated all this time to it, you know, probably 30, 40 hours worth to the videos. And I looked at the video and I was like, I don't like it. And if I don't like it, I'm just not going to publish it. It's just not worth putting out. So, you know, and you can kind of run into this like death spiral. I see a lot of other YouTubers do too, where, you know, you start making more topical or easy talking head content. And it's like, it's just cheap and I don't like it. So I was like, I only want to put videos like I'm proud of. I want to look back in 5 years and go, I like all those videos. And I look at my first like 6.5 years of YouTube, and there's definitely some videos I really like out of there, but there's also some videos where I was like, you know what? That was not a good video. Wish I didn't make that. So, I don't know. I guess from that standpoint. Self-hosted project's going fantastic. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, Caleb, just going forward, that's what I'm going to do. So, I'll just going to leave it on Twitch for the most part. What terminal do you use now? I'm going back to actually Alacrity. So, let's get started. First thing, I wanted to change my terminal. Warp is good, but it's just a little too heavy for what I like. So, let's change this to Alacrity. So we're going to move this back. Oh, you know what? There was also one other thing I wanted to do here. I wanted to make a hotkey for... Oh, I want to save my wallpaper. Oh, I already did that. Just mod key shift W should do it. Okay, cool. So let's save that. Let's go sudo make clean install. And we'll rebuild that. So then if we close that, kill this process. And I'm just going to relog back in. All right. A little ugly, but it's fine. Now we're back to old Alacrity. Cool. What's your views on Wayland now? Man, I've really tried to give Wayland a lot of... length because I really want it to succeed, and I get the problems with having like a legacy system like Xorg and like screen tearing and other things that people have problems with Xorg with. I always have problems with Wayland, always, and I just cannot get it to the spot where I just can use my computer without issue. And you know, I think for people that can use their computer without issue and be on Wayland, then go for it. But every time I try it, I end up just going, it kind of works. But there's always like little bugs and little gotchas, and I'm like, well, if this over here works great, why would I take something that just kind of works with some asterisks by it? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So that's, you know, I feel like an old man when I'm like, oh, I'm still using DWM and Xorg, but it always works. So there's that. How old is this system? When was the last reset? Oh, Caleb, I think we're at, oh, geez, let's see. Probably, I changed my, my system, distro here. You know what? Let's fix that too. Oh, God, I gotta fix this. 1 second. Speaking of Linux utility. Oh, let's go. Application. Oh, yeah, we got Rofi down here. Cool. There we go. I was like, I broke my Rofi. That's the whole reason I made the Linux utility, by the way. For crap like that. Because there's times where I break my system, I'm like, I wish I could just revert it back. So I make all my config files and stuff so I can just one-click install them. So then I'm like, oh, I broke Rofi. That's right. Okay, let me revert all that back. And I can just hit install through my toolbox. So there's a great example. But oh yeah, I was going to get my system age from Calum. Yeah, everyone should just use what works for them, whether it's Xorg, Wayland, Windows, Mac, Linux, whatever it is. If it works for you, just use it. And I drive people crazy all the time because my IDEs, I'll switch between NeoVim and Cursor interchangeably. Like, sometimes I'm like, man, I want to try this in Cursor real fast and just see how this, what it says for this. And then other times I'm like, oh, it's a simple fix. I already know what to do here. I'm just going to open it in NeoVim and make those changes. So some people are like, you have to use all of this or half of that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a giant indecisive mess where I just like to use everything. Yeah, I think so. It just depends. Depends on the day for me. We just don't have to respect them for their choices. It's a good point, Dammy. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. For sure. All right, I was looking at, actually, let's open that file. If we go here, and I think we can just go .config. And what I want is fast fetch, I believe. I gotta do collation again. If you ever see like all the lowercase is below the uppercase like this, it means your collation's kind of screwed up. I must have done something in that realm. It's easy fix though. All right, we'll go fast fetch config. Let's see what that looks like. Let's just say add uptime. No, not uptime. Add install date to this fast fetch. Let's see what it comes up with. Where does it want to put that? Is that gonna... I'm sus whether that works or not. Let's try it. All right. No, it broke it. Thanks, AI. God. You gotta love it. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes not so much. All right. Old. Oh, where's that gonna be? Let's go GitHub. And let's go. Linutil actually probably should have this. And we're gonna go into, where would that be? Yeah, sometimes it works great. Like sometimes I'm like, let's give it a whirl. But a lot of people sit there and just keep like this weird construction loop going with AI now, where they've just completely become useless, where they don't know how to actually reference the material and put them in. So usually I'll reference AI and be like, hey, tell me the problem here, or tell me the solution. And if you can just spit it out and it works great, awesome. I'm all for that. But when it completely fails, or it just comes up with just a stupid solution that breaks whatever it is you're working on, well, you just revert it and then you go, okay, new way, doesn't work. Let me go back to the old way, and we're just going to look up the documentation on it. So, you know, it's important to know all these things. I think too many people in today's world think, oh, well, AI is just going to always tell you the right answer. Well, sometimes it will. And that's great when it happens. It's a quick lookup. But when it fails, which inevitably it will fail, the more complex the question or the more niche the question, the worse it will do. Then you need to go back to more old school principles. Speaking of which, I think it was under core source. No, not source. Tabs, actually. And I want to say I put that in application fast fetch setup. Where did I grab that? Okay, I grabbed the CLI. Where's my config for this sucker? All right, copying fast fetch config files. Oh, this is my mag bash. Okay. That's where it is. So what was my uptime here? I don't think... Oh, dang it. Maybe I did change it. Well, shucks. All right, well, that's fine. That's why we do everything in GitHub. Let's just go my bash. What do you use for shell customization? Shell customization, I use Starship. I mean, Starship just has so many themes and it's so easy to set up. It's like, man. All right, so this was the new version of it. Let's go to history. And we're going to just revert back to 2024. I'm pretty sure I had OS age was the key. Ah. There we go. All right. So we're going to take this. We got custom. Oh, what's this look like, by the way, when we go fast fetch? Oh, okay, I see what it's doing. So we'll probably put it under system. Where do we want to put that install time? Honestly, I kind of want to put it under distro. So actually at the top here would be ideal. So we got the break, you got the kernel packages shell, and yeah, where's the next break? So distro, kernel package shell, and then this breaks again. Right after here, this ends, and the next one begins. So let's just put it right here. We'll fix this here in a second. And fix that. And yep, that looks good. So we got type, command, key, OS age, but we need that to be a little more descriptive. It's gonna look a little funky. Let's just make sure that works real fast. Yeah, okay, cool. I just need to fix how to display the install. What kind of icon should that be? This is where I get lost in the weeds, is like the little customizations. Yeah, yeah, Odor, and that's the thing. Like, I always find there's like two camps of people. There's like the AI bros that are like, it's taking over. There's not going to be any programmers. I'm like, no, that's not what that means. It means there's going to be less like junior programmers and things like that. People that used to do like more menial stuff or things that was just really repetitive and relatively low skill, or didn't require a lot of skill. I think a lot of those positions will go away. But like your traditional like senior developers and stuff, dude, AI is nowhere close to getting rid of those guys. Like if you laid off all your senior developers, your product's pretty much dead if you relied on AI. It would be such a disaster. I mean, not to say it won't happen. I'm sure there'll be companies out there that drink the Kool-Aid and then go, uh-oh, we screwed this one up. All right, let's see. Oh, a cake icon for the OS birthday. I kind of like that, Chase. Geo, whatever you posted, Twitch didn't like it. Or at least my reader of Twitch didn't like it. Let's see. Let's close that. Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I didn't. Oh. Wow. Okay, 1 second. Let me redo this. I'm like a noob all over again, man. All right, manage accounts. I'm just got to remove some of my accounts and re-add them. Yep. Authorize. Give me the key. I would show this on stream, but then anybody could log into my account, and that would be not great. All right, and then aha! Beautiful. All right, we are back. All right, so Geo put a wrench icon, hammer and wrench. Okay, that I like that. Why do you have resolution twice? Do I? Oh, resolution is in there twice. Good spot. Huh. All right. Let's so you got display, type custom. Okay, that's just the bottom one. Media player, uptime, sound. There's one display. Why is display showing twice? It is though. See? 1, 2. Huh. Is there another one? Let's go into the directory and take a look. What's this V2? Okay, so this one's completely different. Like, let's just trash some of this stuff. See if it breaks it. And then we have this custom one. I don't know what that is, so let's just get rid of it. So now we just have this one custom. So if we look here, relaunch, still showing twice. What's your feeling on Hyperland? Myself like it, but it's too much for me. Charlie, I've tried setting up Hyperland a whole bunch, and there's always little knick-knack things that bother it. bother me about it. It's pretty heavy for it being a Wayland compositor or window manager and all the things it tries to do. And then it tries to basically reinvent the wheel with a lot of, like, I think Baxry ended up rebuilding WL Roots for it because he had a spat with the WL Roots team over like a code of conduct or something. And then I'm like, ugh. So it's just this bloated mess is how I think of Hyperland. It looks so cool and pretty though. I gotta say, I love how it looks and feels when it works great. But in actual practice and using it, it just there's always little things that just kind of needle me in the side. I'm like, that doesn't feel good. It just didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. And I'm just like, And I think really what I have to do is, most of it's not really a negative against Hyperland per se. A lot of it, I think a lot of my pain points that I've run into is either Wayland or Waybar. Wayland and Waybar are both too, I'm trying to be tactful how I say this. They're just not very good. They feel very messy. Where Hyperland itself feels pretty clean and snappy. But a lot of the tacked on crap that gets added to make Hyperland kind of complete in relying on some of these external projects, just, it doesn't feel good. And that's kind of my thoughts, Charlie, on that. When it comes to Hyperland, I really want it to be great, though. I really like Hyperland, and I like when it works great. It's just, a lot of times it just ends up kind of falling short for me. So hopefully that answers the question. Yeah, maybe. So we got terminal blue, terminal host. Let me look at this. There's got to be. That could be it. Oh, there's two displays here. Yeah. So that should fix that. And then let's just grab us this key. Yank that. Paste that in. Let's go nerd fonts. Cheat sheet. Let's see. Glyph. Wrench. I like this one that was used in chat earlier. So we're going to just copy the icon. And we're just going to take that and paste. A little bit big. Let's see how that looks on the... Okay. Close. So let's fix that real fast. And bring that back. And then let's key color. Let's go yellow. All right. Now, what do we think? Pretty clean. I like it. Yeah, I think a lot of it too, Charlie, like, you know, when you look at a lot of things online, a lot of, oh God, I want to call them influencers. Let's just call them YouTubers. Myself gets lumped into here too, so don't think I'm talking bad about other people. It's just the nature of the thing. A lot of times when you're looking for videos to make, you kind of go through and you're like, oh, that looks cool. It's shiny. people are going to love this. And then you kind of just get like the surface level bit of it, enough to make a video, and then you use it. And then like a month or two later, it kind of falls to pieces on you. And then you're like, well, that was fun while it lasted. And then you have to move on. And it doesn't a lot of times make a lot of sense to make a follow-up video that, hey, this fell to crap on me. When you could just be like, okay. So I've constantly revisited Hyperland, trying different configs and showing people those. And I always try and do like a 2-week dive on it, at least, to where I can kind of get the bugs or the things I don't like. And if you look at my latest Hyperland video, I pretty much articulate all the issues I had with it, and they still remain. Those are still bugs and things I don't feel ever got addressed or will get addressed. I mean, hopefully they get addressed, but I don't know. Anyways, Caleb, we're nearly a year here. And before we forget, actually, too, let's upload this to my bash before I forget. Let's go. .config fast fetch. Where you at? Yeah, fast fetch. We're gonna take this guy, and I think if we look in my GitHub, we should have my bash. Oh, I don't have my bash here. Oh, you know what? It might have been back when we were doing Linux Toolbox. Yeah, that's it. Let's replace this one. And what we're going to do now, let's see this one, lazy G, fix, fast fetch. So we never have to do that again. All right, cool. Fast fetch has been updated. We're already getting stuff done. I just need to stream so I get stuff done. That's been the limiting factor here, I think. All right, next up, let's get to Linux Toolbox, man. Linutil. It's been a little bit. What problems are y'all having with Linux that we need to address? Is there anything? First time catching a live stream after 1 year binge watching on YouTube. That's awesome. Using Arch. All right, Arch Linux PB. Oh, good to hear, man. I love people that get that and just go crazy. That's just always brings a smile on my face. When's Arch update on stream? Oh, we haven't done that, Nav, have we? When was the last time I updated Arch on stream? Ooh, do we do a Pac-Man? Nah, let's go big. Go big or go home, I always say. Oh, this is gonna be big. Oh, yes. Oh, lordy. Okay. What are we gonna get for a download here? This is gonna be like a 5 gig update. This might be bigger than a Windows install with all the crap I have in here. It's been a while. You know, we're almost to a year. I'm almost hesitant to update. But I'm like, if we're going to break it, we got to break it before a year. I got to say, Arch Linux has lasted way longer than I thought it would. It has been amazing. So kudos to the Arch team, because I usually would break any distro I'm on well before 300 days. The last update would have probably been on a live stream. So this was probably 2 months old. So it's been probably 2 months since I've updated the system. Let's see what the final count is here. I think it's going to go through the AUR first, and then we'll go from there. All right. I think Arch Linux is, you know, I used to go back and forth between Arch and Debian. I don't know, though. These days, I just use Arch so darn much. It's like ridiculous. I find myself using Arch almost every single time I install a system now. So I think I'm just an Arch Linux user now. I hate to say that, but no, I don't. I love saying that. Come on. I'm turning into an official Arch user.
Look, I want to say, I know you know a lot of super people, so thanks for thanking of me.
Oh, thanks for the sub there, PB. I forgot I added that. I was trying to do like my own alerts. Yeah, that's what I always run into, Yord. It just always ends up kind of coming back to me when it comes to using Debian. A lot of times I'll be sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I just wish I had a new one of this package. And then I end up just building from source. And then I'm like, oh crap, this dependency I need to build from source too. And then I need to build this one from source because it's too old. So then I'm like, I'll just use Arch. And that's what I always end up being. So nowadays, I rarely use Debian, which is funny because I used to just always, go, Debian's the best. Everyone should use Debian. And now I'm like, man, personally, I rarely ever use it. I mainly just use Arch. The times I use Debian is all server based. Like when I don't want it to break and I just want it to be left alone for months at a time without anybody touching it, set and forget, so to speak, I always end up using like a Debian. And that's where I use Debian a lot still today. But for actual desktop usage, man, it's Arch every single time now. And then you find yourself cosplaying as a Gen 2 user. Yeah. We did a Gen 2 stream way back in the day. But Gen 2 it's not even Gen 2 anymore. I think they have binary packages. So Gen 2 users don't always build from source anymore. Doctor. Oh, I need to do a video on this. You can actually use Chatterino, but there's something in Chatterino where you got something where you can, I think it's Streamlink, and I don't know if I installed it here. Yeah. This is gonna be weird. This might echo like crazy. But instead of using an actual Twitch website, there we go. Instead of using an actual Twitch website, oh, that's weird. But anyways, so I end up using Chatterino with Streamlink directly in, so then you never even have to go to Twitch. I don't know what it is about Twitch's website. I hate it, and a lot of times I end up just piping it all through Streamlink. And then if you want to completely avoid ads and not do a subscription, totally get it. I think you can do, I can't remember what countries don't run ads for Twitch, but you can reassociate to that country, and then I believe you won't get any ads. And you can also do like a pie hole and some other, get creative with it. I'm just here to show you the door. It's up to you to walk through it. So now that you know, it's kind of cool. I really like that. How big is this thing I'm downloading? Electron. Dude, it's 12 gigs and it's only 24, it's 50 gigs? What? What am I installing here? Electron 30? So, what is this? Moonlight, I guess? Well, this is there, so then you retrieve Moonlight, okay. Electron Git. Dude, we're not downloading 30 gigs. Somebody screwed up something from the AUR. Homie, don't play that. Oh, okay. Let's just purge this. We'll see if it's needed for anything, but I don't see anything. What's the command for AUR packages? Drawn a blank. Is it just... It wasn't Q, was it? No. And it wasn't Q it. No, maybe it was QM. No. That wasn't it. Now let's shift that to number 5. Oh, Dr. Chris, why do you use yay, Chris? It's 3 letters. Is it QM? I have that much installed? QM shows all the packages. Like, Xorg Xset is definitely not from the AUR. Yay command to only show AUR packages installed. Yeah, it is KM. So yay QM. Oh, QN. Oh, that's what I was doing. My bad. All right, so this is the AUR. All right, sorry. QM, not N. All right, do we have Electron anywhere in here? What all do I have installed on here? Good night. Bunch of garbage, it looks like. Don't install this much from the AUR. You're just asking for problems. Oh, we got all that Hyperland crap in here. That's why. Let's just purge Hyperland. Oh, Hyperland's not installed. Okay. Let's do yay q grab hyper. Just gonna get rid of some of this just to clean up the system a bit before this update. That should be enough. Great. And then we need to do dependencies. Is it RNS? No, it wasn't RNS. Damn it. This is why I hate. This is one thing I still hate about Arch. The frickin' syntax for Pac-Man is insane. Is it RDD? I don't think it's RDD. Was it dependency? Oh, is my volume a little too quiet? Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think I was doing something recording. 1 second. I'll fix it. Let's just go 15. Okay, so there you go. There's a little bit more. Thanks for the pro tip for the mic. Whiskey it was. I was adjusting it, and then I was like, oh, you know what? I appreciate you. RCS, that's it, Lord. I couldn't remember. I was like, I know it's something like that, but I couldn't quite remember. RCS. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's grab all those beautiful dependencies and purge them. And let's q grep WLR. Yeah. So what we can do here is then same thing. And what we'll do is WL roots. Get rid of it. You still have some of those WL roots. Huh. Randar and WL roots 0.17. I wonder why I installed that specific version. Just Wayland things, I guess. Let's just get rid of... I'm sure it'll purge it with it. Yeah, that's fine. Purge all that. Sorry. We're taking a little detour and just purging a whole bunch of packages. I kind of bloated up. In my 300 days in Arch, we've kind of made a mess of things. What else do we have in here? Let's just not update the world. Why do I have Riser FS progs installed? How weird. That's the guy that murdered his wife that made the Riser FS file system. I don't remember doing that video. Anywho. It took a dark turn, didn't it? Yeah, it was kind of wild. Anyways, let's remove that. What else do we have? Looking through, I'm just gonna purge a few things. These are AUR packages, and one of the key things to keep your Arch going forever and ever and ever is to not use AUR packages. Or at least minimize your usage of AUR. This is just stupid. I don't know why I have all these. This just is crazy sauce. What was I doing? This is awful. This is also a security nightmare, using this much AUR stuff. Why do I have lib32 system D? Let's purge Wayland. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's wine. That's why. It's also going to purge Steam. What do you guys think? Yes, do as I say. Let's just get rid of them. Sure, it's nothing important. Let's just keep the going. I mean, it wouldn't be a Titus stream if we didn't just purge the world. What about that System D package? What's this do? System D's not important, is it? Nah. Let's get rid of it. Who needs System D? What else we got in here? Get debug and greet D. Let's get rid of that. Greet D. It's a greeter. I'm not even using a greeter. I still got a lot. This is just so much. It's just so many packages. Let's get rid of this get debug too. Yeah. Oh man, didn't hit anything good though. All right. Anything else in here? What about network? Network get debug. That looks important. Let's get rid of it. Wonder why there's all these 32-bit ones. No, nothing really there. What if we do grep debug? So what if we take these packages, we clean them up, and then we just feed all of them in there and get rid of all the other ones? Oh, I like that idea. Like all this libstraw things. Can we do like a SC? Let's go lib astral. And then I don't think wildcard commands like this work. Yeah, wildcard commands won't work. Why not sudo rf? It's basically. Oh, let's go. Yeah, let's do that too. cache. You want to... Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I probably should have looked at it beforehand, too. But, yeah, clearing the cache is probably important. Let's go ahead and get a new database. And then... Alright, let's update now. I think we'll be in better shape. Ah, that looks way better. What's that wall ust? I don't know what that is. When in doubt, let's remove it. Is there anything else in there I don't know what it is? If I don't know it, it's getting the axe. Alright, now. Much better. Let's go. Oh, Quack. Would that have worked? Would it taken the wild card? I wonder. All right. What's our total update size? Uh-oh. Well. Yes. Let's just fix that up. Yeah, let's try that again. This is why you update Arch every month. Anyways. Now, give me some love. All right. Here we go. Update size 6.5 gigs. Let's go. Ahmed, how's it going? You don't want to be in my shoes when you reboot. Well, the good thing, Tech Zero, is my current system relies on almost nothing. So, it'll be fine. I guess we should have done a backup before this, huh? Let's see. What's my last backup? Earlier today. 116. Look at that. Big brain Titus here. All right. Let's go. Dude, that was an insane amount of AUR. I think a lot of that was from the Hyperland install. When I did the... What was it? Jay Coolit Hyperland? I think a lot of that was from there. So I was just like, I'm going to just purge a lot of this. So I'll go back through and kind of clean up more of the AUR after our reboot. Yeah. If this updates, an Arch has come a very long ways. Like, this would have broken Arch like 50,000 different ways 3-4 years ago. So this is really the test. I mean, the fact it's lasted 300 days under my command speaks volumes already about Arch. But if it works here, Arch, dare I say it, might even be moving above. Nah, I won't say it. But it's moving up the charts for sure. The more AUR packages I have installed, the more guilty I feel. Well, that's to be expected. That's exactly right. That means you're progressing. The more AUR packages you install typically means the more unstable you will be. So that's why I always try and minimize my AUR packages. Like, I kind of went through with the sledgehammer just now. I don't know if I recommend this approach. I don't recommend this approach. But the idea is don't install that many AUR packages to begin with. I just don't know why I had that many packages. I guess we'll find out. Nice, Zero. I even maintain an old Zero Linux still. That's awesome. So, there we go. Any security tips on Windows, mainly software? Security tips on Windows, don't use it. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just me being an Arch Linux user talking there. Let me put my Windows hat on just for a second. Remove a lot of the attack surfaces of Windows, such as like the ability to run VBS scripts, the ability to launch and elevate into PowerShell and other shells. Removing those capabilities really hampers a lot of viruses out there. So think of it that way. Removing the usage of macros in Office and things like that will really go a long way to help make you less vulnerable on Windows. So that's my expert advice when it comes to that. Oh God, the whole antiviruses thing. I still got to make another video on antiviruses. I just really hate making those videos though. Because like the thing about Windows users is they always want to be told there's this thing you can install to make you secure, or this thing you can install to make you less vulnerable, is probably a better way of putting it. So it's not, hey, how do I become secure on Windows? It's how do I not get screwed so badly on Windows? And I think that's really what I would prefer people to get the understanding of. Because like security in Windows is terrible, but you can make it less terrible. And that's really the gist of it. The crux of it is just trying to strip away enough of the bad things of Windows to make it usable. Because a lot of times people use Windows for specific purposes, and I get that. I do too. And the idea is just that. But I can't come out and say that in like a video. People would just not understand. They would take it the wrong way. And I don't want to... I don't want people to take it the wrong way. I want to help people. And I genuinely want to assist folks, especially Windows users, in making their life better. It could be so much better. But it just, baby steps, The little things, the things that add up on the daily usage, that makes you better. It goes for Linux users too. A lot of people just blindly click, and some people think you can't get infected on Linux. And you can totally get compromised on Linux. If I put my black hat on for a second, I can think of a lot of nefarious ways to compromise Linux systems. Oh man, I could go full Walter White. I wonder how much damage I could do to the world. Probably quite a bit. Yeah, best antivirus is the user. That's such a true statement. Such a true statement. Yeah, it's PEBCAC every time. Problem exists between keyboard and user. or what is it? Problem exists between chair and keyboard. PEBCAC. Or it's an ID10T error. So many good references from the IT industry on that one. I use PepGak in the office every day. That's awesome. Yeah, nobody ever gets it. The ID10T one's a little more popular, so a lot more people get that one now. But PepGak's usually reserved for just IT folks these days. Oh, geez. All right, here we go. Yeah, the pirating for sure. All right, it looks like we're updated. Just to make sure. Should be up to date. Nice. Let's just... Doop. We're just gonna clean this up a little bit. Oh, GitHub desktop bin's out of date, huh? Okay. What are we down to now? See, that's more mana gold. That I'm okay with from an AUR perspective. Almost every package there I can name. I understand why it's installed. I like it. All right, let's reboot. What are we thinking? Get one of those beefy thread rippers. I mean, honestly, this Xeon processor has been amazing. It is so darn fast. The reboot times, obviously, it being an old HP. Not a huge fan of HP. Is the downside is the very long post process. I've disabled as much as I can in the firmware, but you know, HP firmwares are just notoriously bloated and take forever to boot. The old wolf, ugh, makes me cringe every time I boot my system, but the price was right. All right, here we go. Arch Linux. Are you undestroyable? Well, usually I get a prompt by now. Maybe it just needs maybe it's just warming up. Yeah. Arch Linux can't be killed. I'm going to Vegas tonight. Yeah. Woo. How about that? Damn. 307 days now. I gotta tell you, Arch Linux team, it updated after not doing. Man, it's been month or more. It's been over a month since my last update. I think the last time I updated was on stream. I don't know. You tell me. That's kind of insane. So, Arch Linux is not nearly as unstable as it once was, as we've proven time and time again, as I've just completely just blown this thing up. Like, you saw how much packages I removed there. I think we were at like 3,000 packages. What was the start of the stream? I don't know if anybody can rewind, actually. I don't think you can rewind. But I'm curious. I might look back on this just to see how many packages we removed. I want to say it was a substantial amount, though. You went 4 months without updating. Yeah, back in the day, that would have killed you. I mean, you have to redo like the keyring and all kinds of craziness, but now, whew, that's pretty awesome. All right. All right. Linutil is all up to date. Let's launch into this guy. Just restore. All right. Pull requests. All right. Now, let's go to me for the assignee. What do we have? Let's just go from the bottom up. That's all the way from December. So let's just start what we got here. Folks at Brave made an all-in-one curl script for Linux, so using that is better than the mess we have today. Okay. LJ. Think we should remove that. Yeah, I think it's better to keep it around 2. I agree with LJ there. So this was Brave. Just curl it and run the script directly from brave.com. Is it that easy now? Let's see what the official instructions are. Oh yeah. Yeah, they went that route. I mean, I approved of that method. Obviously, that's what I ended up doing for a lot of mine, so dig it. So Brave, I approve. It's cleaner. And I think we'll go with that. Daily Drive Gen 2. We need a new challenge. It's true. It's true. I think we kind of know like what breaks in Arch now. And we're like, like I have now like a solid foundation in Arch where I just can't blow up my system. Because when you couple everything from Pac-Man, when it comes to, I only need about 4 packages from Pac-Man, the official repos, and then my DWM. So those are it. Like that gets me a functional desktop. So I mean, we're talking maybe a total of a couple megs in size here. It's stupid. And then you obviously have Xorg on top of that. But that is so like minimal and just impossible to break. I can just keep that as a foundation and then always springboard off of that. So I can essentially now do anything I want to my Linux install without breaking it. I might break Steam. I might break other things. I'm sure I think I need to reinstall Steam now, but I just kind of wanted to purge all these junk packages that got installed from messing around the last time I was here. And I wanted to make sure I have really just a good solid base. So it's just a neat, I think this is really the way to use Linux successfully. All right. Anyway, enough yapping. Let's get some more stuff done. Shell integration setup, fast fetch setup. Okay. Enhanced RC file detection and implementing a fallback mechanism. Probably wise. Let's see. Requested change. Then it got approved. We got some more commits after the approval, though. Let's take a peek. All right, we got Pac-Man. We got apt and Nala. He added a space. Spacing. Guess there were some tabs here. I hate it when people do this. Like they fix the tabs, but now I have to look at every damn line. And I'm like, why? Like, why wouldn't this be indented in? It's in the side of a case. I don't know. Just a personal preference, I suppose. Anyhow. Fast fetch shell. We got fish, ZSH bash, configuring shell integration. Anybody use new shell? I don't think I've ever used new shell. Well, the weirdos probably use fish, but bash and ZSH usually reign supreme, but I don't know, new shell. Might have to check that out. Anyways, shell config not found. Fast fetch already configured. Else. I like that. That should be fine. Squash and merge. We can test that too. New shell's written in Python? Ugh. Gross. Alright. Python is slow as get out, man. Alright, let's test this, make sure we don't have any issues. Let's do, what is fast fetch? That's the one I really kind of wanted to check. Already configured. Good. Alright. Neat. Works great. Now let's go back. UI unselect. Let's try that. When in search mode, written by Adam. Ah, before it would actually keep this highlighted even when you're in search mode. Let's take a peek. Looks like a pretty simple change. Adam's usually pretty good. We'll test it out just to make sure. So before we do the full merge, let's compile that. So when we go into here, fast fetch. So I think it's wanting to... So you have to enter and then enter. I'm not sure what Adam's doing on this commit. Let me see this. Okay, so before, after. UI, unselect the current tab when in search mode. Oh, okay. So it's not unselecting over here. Okay, I see what he's doing. Just double checking that. Yeah. I already approved it. So let's merge that, test it out. All right, let's pull. So we saw what the old one is. Now let's go fast fetch. Oh, that's cool. So let's say we go, like, let's say we go Diablo 2, right? Diablo. Ah, the search doesn't actually go down 2 levels. All right, let's go system update then. One little bug here that I'm seeing. So yes, that is cool. But when you go to here, like if you go fast fetch for this, watch this. It's not actually system setup. That should be an application setup right here. A little tiny thing, but overall I like the PR. It's a good PR. Next up, removal of redundant AVX2 check. That's a compiling one. Do people use Zen? I know it was all the rage for a little bit. They discontinued AVX2 optimized releases due to recurring build issues. Okay, I gotcha. So, yeah, okay, they're just getting rid of that, and we're just getting the bin. That's fine. Yeah, I think, Prof, we're going to get back to weekly. I've been so... initially I was like, you know what, I need to get more programming done. I'm going to stop streaming and get more programming done. That didn't happen. I had more time on my hands, yes. But at the end of the day, I looked at my work product and I was like, I didn't get shit done. So the streams will be more off the cuff, I think, than what they used to be. And I'm not double streaming to YouTube in the old way I was doing it, where I had more of an overhead on YouTube. YouTube will still be there for members on YouTube, but I'm not live streaming over there to like a second channel, really. It's on the main channel, but members only. So not very many people, if any, will probably watch on YouTube. But it'll be there for just historical purposes. And then most of it'll just be Twitch. It just is easier for me to get programming done. So I might still do public live streams on both at the same time, but it just depends on what I'm doing. Like if I'm doing a full system build on Linux, I'll probably do that both and leave it live on public YouTube and here. But if it's like a programming stream or something, that'll be mostly just Twitch only, and then members only on YouTube. That way I can stream more, but it won't screw up my YouTube stats or anything. So that's the reason for doing that. All right, let's go. Adam, doing well, man. We're getting through some of those Linutil, man. We just finished merging yours. We finished the UI unselect. A couple little bugs with some of our searching, but I mean, it's fine. It was nothing that was like earth shattering. It was like I was showing just now was when we do like system. So this is under system setup on the tab view, but it shows the actual selection still on applications. And it was just, you know, it was an existing bug that's there. So if you're over here and you go like fast fetch, just one of those, yeah, it's such a minor thing. I don't really care. But yeah, I like that PR that you just did. Improve rendering efficiency. Interesting. Let's see what this one is. Yeah, it's like, eh. So this is a small PR, makes the UI is not re-rendered unless an event is detected. Might be a terminal key press. Before 50% CPU. Oh, that seems like a bigger change. 50% CPU usage. 1% with debug on. Okay. Okay. I love reading the back and forth just so I get a little bit better understanding here. Okay. And then the changes themselves. We're changing the TUI main Rust file. Doing atomic ordering. That's what they're chatting about. Running command terminal updated. If terminal updated exchange. We have the sync right here is getting changed from just arc mutex to atomic bool ordering. Running command. It's cycled in here. Okay. Let's try it out. Seems like a small. Oh. Let's see what we got. Okay. I wonder why that gave a conflict right there. Interesting. All right. Let's let that lint real fast. Ahmed, it does do RPM fusion and installing codecs. Yeah, somebody added that a couple months back, I want to say. No, I'm testing all in live. Our lints failed. All right, what did I screw up? Clippy. Path duff. Unused import path buff. Okay. Let's just check that out. Yeah, I really do like how I saw something the other day. I was cracking up. Like GitHub, even though I'm a bit of a noob, um, as far as development goes, GitHub makes it to where you just can't screw up. Like even when you screw up, it's like, oh well. There's always a trace. Like the worst case, let's say you just completely nuke your project and like accept like 6 PRs without checking anything, right? Or you just let cursor go wild and just go, hey, write this program for me like an idiot. Um, Even if you do that, you can easily just go back to where the program worked and just reset to that head in Git, and then it just resets everything right back to what it was before you did whatever it was to mess it up. It's like beautiful. Like I have tried to break Git so many times, and it's just impossible to break. It is the immovable, indestructible programming knowledge that everybody needs to learn. Like even the AI bros have to learn Git because they will inevitably blow up their system using AI. And with Git, they can at least revert back to their last working state anytime they want and then go forward. So everyone has to learn GitHub. AI cannot replace it for them. They have to learn GitHub. So everyone has to learn GitHub. I'd say GitHub is way more important today than it ever has been at any point in history. That's how important GitHub is today. I will die on that. I love it just to death. Anyways, what file I got to blabbing? I'm like, oh, what was this? I was in the TUI main RS. Okay. TUR source main RS path buff. Oh, what line was that? We need to check out this. Oh. Yeah, okay. GitHub pull requests. Where was that? Here it is. Let's check that bad boy out. There we go. Now, we're just gonna go cargo build. Probably should get. Let's go cargo check. All right, line 31.5 path buff, unused import. It's easy enough. Line 35, unused import. So let's just get rid of that. Nice. Look, I didn't use AI. The most basic error I can use my brain to solve. Feels good. All right. This worked great. Cool. It's the little things in life. All right. I like that. What? Pull remote. Yeah. What? Huh. Yeah. As Titus explains how he tried to break GitHub, managed to break GitHub. Yeah. Weird. And I can't do a git push. To push to the upstream branch, use. Okay. Let's just try to do it to the head. I don't think I'm going to be able to update it because it's not my repo. Oh, no, that worked. Okay. I don't know what happened there. That was kind of weird. Anywho, let's refresh this. Let's go back to our pull request. Let's let these lints go through. We should get a green checkbox now. I was wondering why you're licensing LinUtil and WinUtil under the MIT license. Someone might take your work, make it proprietary, and charge for it. The GPL might prevent that. At the end of the day, I kind of want the big objective of all my projects is to help you learn or like improve people's lives. In my eyes, I want no legal restrictions. I don't want politics. I don't want anything to infringe on that. So if someone needs to take my project, close source it and do some shenanigans or whatever, and then maybe contribute back, that'd be cool. But if they don't, oh well. And if they re-release my stuff, well, I mean, it's going to be pretty obvious that they're using my stuff. And if it's GPL or MIT, I mean, I'm not really trying to make a bunch of money here. If I was, everything would just be closed source. I would close source it. So, like, the objective here is to make, like, WinUtil and LinUtil to be as universal as possible. And if you need to take it, and let's say you find something and go, man, that piece of code would be great for my job, and it would give you a promotion, but it goes into a closed source project and it gets used. I don't want the GPL to prevent you from getting a raise for stealing my work. I mean, real talk, I don't really care if you do it or not. And I say, that's what the cool thing is. I want anybody that contributes to here to be able to take this and use it for anything. And I think that would be amazing. Because at the end of the day, like, whether it's LinUtil or WinUtil, the idea is just to get the best outcome possible. And in my mind, to make the best product or the best outcome, the least restrictions you have, the faster you can move, the better it can be. And the more people that will contribute. Because that's a real thing, and I'm totally okay with it. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, there are definitely aspects, Yordle. I get what you're saying about like corporate people coming in and just taking something and then going, it's mine now, and I'm going to close source it and charge money for it. Totally get that's a thing. But more often than not, a lot of these projects, one, they're going to be a lot better than the closed source counterpart. And two, the people contributing to it, I want them to be able to take the code and use it in other endeavors that they do. And I don't want that being limited to a GPL license. And I feel like I'd be constricting a lot of the contributors. Then I would I just have zero care about some big corporation coming through and trying to steal one of these projects. Because I know how corporations work. And they're slow, incompetent, and clunky. And they couldn't even steal it properly. That's my bet. That's just it. Like, if we're being real, come on now. Like, if you go up, take any corporate software, it almost has like this ungodly long development cycle that just moves at a snail's pace. And think now that they steal like one of these products that I work on. I mean, it would be hysterical. It'd be stuck in time, and we would far out. I mean, I think you could take a month of development on an open source project that's completely unhindered by any license. Like MIT license is about as open as it gets. And I feel like you can move faster than anything else in the world. Like this one project, I think, can move faster than a team of 30 people working for some big corporation. That's just my 2 cents. As long as I actually like work on it. And that's the whole reason why I'm doing the streams is like, man, I thought I could work on it offline more. And yeah, as I've said before in the stream, it didn't work out that way. So back to streaming I go. At least when I want to do programming. I think this is a good happy medium. All right. Now that's good and implemented. Let's just make sure. Let's go get switch main. Let's pull down those changes. Do a cargo run. Looks good. I like it. All right, cool. Clean. All right, moving on. Compile setup, DNF compile. Fix builder prerequisites for Fedora and RHEL. Use power tools for older RHEL and Rocky. CRB for new builds. Oh, what's CRB? I don't think I've seen that. It's been a while, so. Okay. What the hell is CRB? Config manager CRB. I'm going to look that up. The rest looks fine. CRB Fedora. Okay. Enables the CRB repository. What's CRB stand for? Push up redemption. I need to, Jalopy. Bring that back. Yeah, I guess it's just an extra repository, much like Power Tools. So, in later versions, they added a CRB repository, much like RPM Fusion, probably. Just gives you a couple more packages. Good to know. Let's look at. So they replaced Power Toys with or Power Tools with CRB. If this equals null, then go ahead and fail back to CRB. And then if this equals null, then go to development tools. Interesting. I'd be curious to see how that. It's kind of weird how that's coded, but let's see this last commit. He was removing the quotes around dependencies for line 32. Looks like shell check. I hate shell check. A lot of times it screws up. Bash shells can be kind of problematic to troubleshoot and debug. All right. Hear that Copilot from Microsoft is taking screenshots of GitHub repos that are public. Say if you have private ones, never put it public. Yeah, that makes sense. I thought they were already doing that, to be honest. Code Ready Builder. Thank you, PB. That makes sense. All right. Gravy. Looking good there. So we got that. DNF. Let's go. Oh, DWM. Multiple fixes. I'd be curious to see what this one looks like. Service script, huh? Do we have a common service script? So if we look at the core source or core tab, there is a common service script. Okay, yes, we added this to interact with like systemd and such. I forgot we added OpenRC. So we got systemd and OpenRC capabilities. Okay. That's enough for like Alpine and stuff. Some of the bigger non-systemd distros. Anyhow. Keep going here. Let's look. Packages. Pacman. We're going to go base devil, libx, rama, xft, libt, git, unzip, flame shot, lx appearance, fey, mate toolkit, and then dropped meson, libev, u2 hash, and libconfig. Not sure about that. Can't remember if that might have just been AI garbage that got added on, but there might have been an actual reason why I did that. I cannot remember for the life of me. So we're going to leave it. PyCom dependencies. That's a lot of dependencies. But I'll allow it. Looks fine to me. There's meson and everything I got removed above. So you got DWM. So you got xin and xorg. That looks fine. The change from system CTL is active, quiet. DM service is service. Okay. So this is mainly adding support for APK or Alpine. I don't think I've ever run my DWM on Alpine. It would be a good candidate for it though. Enable service using that extra library that was added. Getting rid of a comment, which is not needed. Read response. Yeah, just more AI garbage. I'd say who wrote this, but I know it was me. So, this looks good. Yeah. Looks good to me. Does Hyper-V perform better than KVM for Windows Guest? Yes. Hyper-V performs light years better than KVM in Windows. Key point in that sentence is in Windows, though. KVM is still the king of Linux when it comes to virtualization. So QEMU KVM is amazing in Linux. The Windows counterpart kind of sucks. Last time I tried it, it was really bad. Like VirtualBox bad. Poor VirtualBox. It's like my punch and gag. But it's VirtualBox. Yeah, Hyper-V's always been the best. It's always been my go-to for virtualization in Windows. If you're going to virtualize something in Windows, why wouldn't you use Hyper-V is probably a better question. Snapd uninstallation. I Did not know Nala doesn't like auto remove. It only likes remove. Good to know. And we got a no confirm for there, which is good. Yeah. Well, that looks great, actually. Just tidying up one of those scripts. Nice. Great. My company just told me I'm getting Ubuntu set up on VirtualBox. Ugh. If you're doing Ubuntu, why wouldn't you use Hyper-V? I mean, it's all baked right into Windows. Like, it's just so much worse. VMware Workstation will be based in KVM in the future. Not sure how they bring that to Windows-based systems. Yeah, VM Workstations, after Broadcom bought them out, I used to recommend VMware Workstation Pro as like the go-to, but that paid product is now discontinued. There's a free product offered by Broadcom, but I've noticed the quality of VMware Workstation Pro going down substantially since, and I mean substantially since Broadcom's takeover. So VMware Workstation was my number one. It's no longer my number one. I will use Hyper-V every day of the week now. So over the past year or so, that's pretty much what I've come to the conclusion of. Hyper-V well outperforms anything on VMware Workstation because Broadcom's just done a really crappy job of maintaining VMware Workstation. It's still functional, but it's not what it once was. And then probably, so you have kind of like Hyper-V, and then I probably would put VMware Workstation below it. It's still not bad. It's just not what it once was. And then below that, I probably would put VirtualBox. It's really not very performant. You can get it there. You got to do some tweaking to get VirtualBox, but it's an Oracle product, and overall, it's great for noobs that are just starting out and that have never done virtualization ever in their life. I think VirtualBox probably has the most intuitive interface. Nah, it still sucks. Use VMware Workstation over it. Now that I'm thinking through, I'm like, no, VirtualBox should just never be used. I hate that product. I have never liked it. It's awful. Yeah, now that I've said it out loud, yeah, just VirtualBox, no. Hopefully one day KVM and QEMU kind of come to Windows in a good method, but right now it's like this really haphazard. It's even worse than VirtualBox in Windows. So to me, there's really only two options: Hyper-V or VMware Workstation Pro. VMware Workstation Pro just keeps getting worse where it used to be the best, and now I'm almost exclusively using Hyper-V. That's my thought process. Take that for what you will. As a guy that's done virtualization since, mid 2000s when it came out, really, and became kind of what we use from system admin perspectives from an infrastructure side of things. So yeah, hey, I don't know what to tell you other than that. If you have to use VirtualBox, there's ways to optimize it so it doesn't suck as bad, but it will always be the least performant in my eyes. How do I disable VBS scripts from running? If you're trying to harden Windows, I don't know how relevant this is anymore, but I'll tackle that. Assignment on security, I think it was. Harden tools. Did he redo his script? What's this? Oh, shit. Interesting. Man, he's been busy. Oh, shit, I think I got a video coming up. So don't just blanket use one of these tools, but Simon on Security has been a pretty trusted source on GitHub, and he's developed some great open source tools. I haven't used this particular one. Let's see what he's still maintaining. I've always used hardened tools in the past from him. This looks like a new tool that he is now using. Let me see his repos. Yeah, he's such a Chad. Look, he's sponsoring Jeff Geerling. Look at that. That's awesome. I've always used hardened tools in the past, but I think he's probably he might have sunset hardened tools. Let's just do a search of his repos. Defender hardening, app locker hardening. Nope, 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 nope. Huh. He might have rebranded that repo actually and changed the name of it. It used to be called Hardened Tools. So yeah, I think this is actually the repo that has been used in the past. Let me check the old releases. I bet you that'll tell me. So this was the older one. Let's go back. Let's go back in time. No. This is a newer repo. Sorry. But, yeah. Is there a VPS block on here? You got App Locker hardening, BitLocker, EMET, PowerShell, SMB hardening, Defender. And then the Stigs over here. I still don't see it. Maybe it wasn't Simon on Security. Maybe it wasn't Simon on Security. Sorry, that was something else. This is what I meant. Sorry. So many repos floating around in my brain. Anyways, this one, basically it turns off like Office macros, Windows script host, Adobe Reader, JavaScript, and all the other, like Adobe is awful with security. So if you have Adobe products, definitely disable these things because they will get your computer infected. Little do people know, Office documents, Adobe documents, not only is Adobe just an absolute shit company that does just terrible things when it comes to anti-consumer, but believe it or not, they're not very talented programmers either, and they're just left all this open so hackers completely exploit all their products as well. That's a thing most people don't talk about often. Anyways, I digress. Going on a rant. Wrapping this up. Disables auto run, disables PowerShell. You can disable CMD as well. Disables, actually UAC gets elevated up a little bit higher. File associations, and then like recovery rules and Defender pup protection, I think, is also that. So this is actually what I've used in the past as hardened tools. Here, I'll link it in chat for everybody. So if you do use Windows and you want to do that, keep that available though, because like if you try to use my script afterwards, my script's not going to run because my script does change your system. And by default, that's not a very secure thing. So this will disable all scripts, all PowerShell scripts. So my script will not run after you harden your system, as it shouldn't, because I'm changing your system and you shouldn't download scripts from the internet to change your system. It's kind of a catch-22 there, but it's true. So that's my thoughts on Windows security. I don't know. That was kind of a rant, but at the same time, it does get that. I think we worked through all of the ones assigned to me. Yes, sweet. So we did get through some of those PRs today with Lin Util. Are you still using virtual Vert Manager? Yeah. I think so. Should still have, unless we purged it during our crazy purge. Now we didn't. So yeah, We still have this, so like if I wanted to open this guy up, yeah. Thanks, Ahmed. Proxmox QMU Chad versus Hyper-V VMware version. I wouldn't say that. I would say VirtualBox instead of Hyper-V VMware. let's call that VirtualBox version. I think that's more appropriate. They are adding some AI trash to Notepad. God. Does the AI bloat never end? Oh, man. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely some benefits there, but man. So many things that really shouldn't. Oh, wow. Are they forcing you to create a Microsoft account? I set this system up. What? What is Microsoft doing here? I'm fairly certain I set this system up. Huh. Yeah, we're booted in. I was like, this is set up. What are you doing, Microsoft? You know, Microsoft, as much as I like to complain about them, I have made so much money from their shenanigans over the years. Talk about a company that hates you, and yet everyone still uses them. Because they have a monopoly. It's kind of wild, really. So what application are we rocking here? What are you doing? Is this a search? Oh, they baked this into search? They did! Those tricky sons of guns. Huh. Oh, look, we got Copilot running. This must have been a stock install. I sure as shit didn't install all this. Look at all this garbage. Wow. What are we at? 150? 140. Anyways, long story short, yeah, I'm still using Virtual Machine Manager. Oh, God. Gross. Hyper-V used to be among the best. Sure, earlier I did a little rant about Hyper-V and how Broadcom bought them out and kind of let their Hyper-V workstation go to, not Hyper-V, VMware. Oh, you're talking about Hyper-V. Sorry, my brain malfunctioned for a second there. Hyper-V is probably one of the best when you're using Windows. I think that's a fair assessment. Have you seen Mozilla rug poll news? Did they go out of business? What happened with the Mozilla rug poll news? You're going to have to fill me in. Windows becomes subscription based. I don't think so, Ahmed. I think Microsoft sees they can make way more money off their users by just data mining them more and selling their information than they could ever charging a monthly fee. Although, I guess there's an argument to be had. They could data mine you and your information and charge you a monthly fee. If we put our really evil corporate hats on, I mean, gotta love the corporate greed, man. Never underestimate it. Let's see. sure. Let's answer some questions here. Why is the YouTube stream only members? YouTube was giving me issues, so I was just like, I'm setting it to members. I'd probably not stream to YouTube, but the thing is, I like to have like if something happens on stream, I want something to where I can grab that and without having to record every stream. So it's easy just to set it to members only and then send it up there. So then I have a way to refer to it if I ever need to. Something happens. There'll be some streams that go to YouTube that are public. Like if I'm setting up a specific distro or something I might be making a video on, that makes sense. If it's something like development, like the Linux utility or the Windows utility, where that's going to happen, there's going to be a lot of streams for those. That doesn't make sense to make those public. So that's why that's set to members only. Mozilla is an AI and an ad company now. What? Mozilla Firefox is a browser company. It doesn't make... God bless. What do you think about Hitman Pro? Man, I hadn't used Hitman Pro. I feel like post up the meme in Star Wars. That's a name I haven't heard in many years. Hitman Pro. It used to be good. I haven't used Hitman Pro in over a decade though, so I can't speak to what they are today. And just use chat and terminal, but then I lose the emotes. I've used WeChat before. That's pretty good. The terminal based chat is not bad. Windows 10 EOL monthly fee for extended support. Yeah, that's been a thing for a while, Yornal. Like Windows 7 had EOL for... Oh shoot, did they still sell EOL support for Windows 7? I remember this for at least 3 years. They sold a 3-year support plan, and all the hospitals in the area, in my area, paid handsomely to get that Windows 7 support, extended support. So that's been part of Microsoft's name and, you know, their scam for quite some time. So Windows 10 going EOL and then doing the monthly fee extended support scam, that's always been part of the MO, going back as far as I can remember. As far as I've done things for decades now, I would say. Change the terms of service, remove parts that say we will never sell your data. And added terms of service. Well, now you all know how much your information's worth to companies. So yeah. I mean, I would say I'm surprised, but not really. And Mozilla does have a money problem. What happened was Google's antitrust screwed over Mozilla. Mozilla was getting, God, what was it, 60 or 70 million from Google? It was a huge chunk. Like more than half of all of Mozilla's revenue was coming from a Google contract where Google paid Mozilla Firefox to set Google as the default search engine. And then government came in and said, hey, Google, that's some monopoly type stuff. We got to shut that down. And Mozilla was like, oh shit, guys, I hate to say this, but the government just took like all that money we're getting from Google, and they just said, we're not getting it anymore. Uh-oh. And Google was like, I guess that saves us about $100 million. Oh, well, they didn't really care. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of wild. That's just how it worked. That's how it played out. Mozilla's just trying to find something to make some money. Yeah, Google paid to not appear as a monopoly, and the exact opposite happened. I mean, it's kind of ironic, and it's kind of funny because, like, to me, when a huge company like Mozilla effectively lose more than 50% of the revenue that they have just no way of replacing, like AI, selling your data, whatever it is, the change in service, they're not going to be able to make up that Google money. They're just not. Your data is probably not worth that much. And with the exodus of people that use Firefox are typically security and privacy oriented. So someone's just going to fork Firefox, or it's already done, actually. There's so many privacy forks of Firefox that doesn't have the telemetry, and everyone's just going to move to that. So they're not really going to make that much money from this pivot. So not enough, at least, to make up this massive shortfall they have since this. So to me, I mean, Mozilla's probably in their death throes. I give it 3 to 5 years, and Google will probably be one of the only games in town. However, there is like other browsers, like Ladybird's coming up. So maybe in 3 to 5 years, when Mozilla dies, Ladybird will get to the point where they're on par with Mozilla. I think the monopoly will still stand for Google and Google Chrome, but I think we'll still have an option there. And I'm hopeful that the Ladybird team will keep expanding their browser, and we'll still have another independent browser that is okay. But like all the Chromium-based browsers, like a lot of people are like, why are you using Chrome? Why not Chromium or Brave or insert other browser here? Frankly, we're all using Google's product at this point in time, or you're using Mozilla, whichever. Pick your poison. Brave can say a lot of things, but Brave's still farming your stuff. And they add a bunch of crypto garbage to their stuff. I used Brave for many years, so don't take this as hate towards Brave. It's just they all have bad things associated with them. There's no good browser. There just isn't. They all kind of suck. And Google Chrome, it just has everything there, and it's Google's product. And I'm like, whatever. The web sucks anyways. It's not like I'm going to use it all the time. I'm mostly trying to stay out of the browser as much as I can, and that's really where the magic happens. So screw it. That's my take. There's no good browser. There just isn't. There's not going to be a good browser for quite some time. So take that what you will. You know, I'm not telling you to use a browser. I'm not going to be like, this is the browser that you have to use. No, they all just kind of suck. And that's just the world we live in. Yo, the PowerShell profile is missing a license. Well, we can put an MIT license on it real fast. Let's go. Oh, let's go repos. I can't remember. I think there was like a little thing on here where we can add the license to it. Maybe not. Is there a license? Whatever. Let's fix it this way. There's probably a faster way to do this, but it's fine. Bam! We now have the MIT license. MIT, yo. Qt browser's cool. I like that too. Qt browser's neat. It's like Vim, but a browser. So I do like Qt browser. Just because. Same reason for me too. Can we all agree on Opera GX sucks? Absolutely, Yordle. Opera GX is only as big as it is because they paid a ton of YouTubers to promote it. Opera sucks in general, though. If you like the Opera layout, I highly recommend you check out Vivaldi, probably. Vivaldi's pretty decent Opera alternative that is made by the originator of the original Opera browser. He left and created Vivaldi. So I like Vivaldi instead of opera if that's your thing. So, cttstore.com. But all influencers tell me it's good for games like me. Ugh. Makes me cringe, man. Yeah. I always get questions about sponsorships and things of that nature too through YouTube. And I just, every time I take a sponsor, a little bit of me dies inside. And let me, if I could find a sponsor where I like really like their product and I can just get a good mesh with them, it's cool. I've had 20 or probably like 20 something sponsors over this last 6.5 years on YouTube. Synology was good. You know, that was one of my best sponsors because I would just literally just, they would go, here's the video, here's what we're thinking. I'd be like, great, I'll do that. And then I'd do it and I'd send it to them and they're like, perfect, done. And it's great. That is a big outlier. Almost every sponsor I ever take now, and it's way worse today than it ever has been in the past, has been, I'll do the video, I give my honest impressions, and I say, this is what I'm thinking, this is everything you said, here's all the notes that you said that you wanted in the video, and I put those in, but I have to put my thoughts in the video with what I'm talking about, even if it's sponsored. Every single time they come back and say, oh, well, you said this here. While that's true, and yes, there might be a little bug here or something here. Yeah, we want to leave that out. Don't worry, we'll fix it in the future, but we would prefer that not be in this sponsored video. And I was like, yeah, but I can't do the video without this. So I've had, in the past year, more than one sponsorship where I've done this. And then they say that, and then I'm like, okay. And then I'll make another video, and then they're like, and I'm like, you're wasting my damn time. I'm done. And I just, every time I do it, I'm just like, why? It's so aggravating, and I just don't get the business model of being a full-time YouTuber. It's like every single one ends up down the same sellout path where it's like, a sponsored video just ends up being an ad, and it's way worse today than it ever has been in any time in history. And I just kills me. So I think that's also been part of some of the problems I've had the beginning of this year, where I was just like, God bless. Anywho, what it is, what's good about having an MIT license versus no license? I don't know. It makes people feel better. What's your take on Zen browser? I just don't feel like trying it, so I'm kind of like, I'm out. Luke's mixed the perfect browser. A browser must actually work, be FOSS, make no unsolicited connections, block ads, and have sensible source defaults. Be minimal and uncluttered, not clutter the file system. Have a config file and low-level language like C. Yeah, well, I agree with that. Ahmed, if we could get like 50% hit rate on most of those talking points, that would be my new browser. But the fact is, we are so far from almost everything you just said for a perfect browser that we're just, just so hard to do. So that's my thoughts. Ugh. Oh, you did? What do you got? Link it in chat, Coding. Here, I'm gonna make you VIP, man. What you been working on? Just use Internet Explorer. So true. Update G. Oh, you're still working on that. Let's see what you got. You don't know Cutting Wonders. He did a lot of updates for the WinUtil, for the MicroWin. So most of the updates for MicroWin came from Coding Wonders. What do we got? We got the Update GUI. A simple PowerShell front end for PS Windows Update. So there was a PS Gallery add-in that used to do this, that you can stay on the CLI for 100%. Coding Wonders put this together to be a front end for it, which is kind of cool. So yeah, PS Windows Update. I actually did a video specifically using PS Windows Update, but Coding Wonder did a little update screen. That could be beneficial to some people that have more stripped down versions of Windows that maybe Windows Update doesn't work so good. But I haven't tried that out yet. But cool project, man. I always encourage people to do stuff like that. In Arch, there's a package in Flatpak or AUR. Do you install the Flatpak? What about Flatpak versus standard Arch repo? I always use standard Arch repo if they're prof. So I prefer the standard Arch repo. That's always my number one. Between the AUR and Flatpak, it depends on what it is. So a good example of when I would use the AUR over Flatpak is something that is CLI based, that is, I don't want to leave the terminal for, such as NeoVim. NeoVim's Flatpak sometimes doesn't have very good tight integrations that from the terminal. It's a little harder to set up and it makes my life a little bit more cumbersome. So I prefer not to use the Flatpak in that instance, and I prefer to use the AUR for like a NeoVim if NeoVim wasn't up to date. In this instance, NeoVim's actual standard Arch repo is up to date. I just wanted to give you an example of when you would use one over the other. The second one is when I use Flatpak. I prefer Flatpak over the AUR most of the time when it doesn't need to be tightly integrated with the system or isn't referred to outside of the program. So a good example of a Flatpak would be Chatterino that I'm using right here. This, I believe, is a Flatpak right here. I can't remember if I'm using the AUR for this or not. Probably should use a Flatpak for this, or an app image. And app images are really cool. And I actually, it was from K-Focus, the Kubuntu Focus team, when I got that laptop. I did a stream a while back about it. And they turned me on to something called Gear Lever. So if you want to use app images, use Gear Lever. Install Gear Lever first. And what Gear Lever does is you can download specific... Sorry to flashbang, y'all. Is there a dark theme? Okay, sorry about you. Anyways, you set the default applications directory. I put all my app images in home app images. Pretty sensible. And then if there's an update, we can go check for updates. It will look for updates in your app images, or if there's one that you directly download and it's already installed, it'll just replace the existing app image. So this makes maintaining app images so much easier. So you have Flatpak and app image. And for these products, I would recommend just doing those in app images. Like Cursor doesn't need to integrate everywhere in my system. I just want it in its own app image, and it's very easy to update. Same with Trezor Suite, which is a crypto hardware wallet. Those types of things, I want to make sure they're isolated and I'm getting them from trusted sources directly from them, and I never want them being updated from an AUR. So that's why you would use one over the other. Hopefully that made sense. It's a little bit of a rambly answer, but both are good. It's not always just use this. There's times where it makes sense to use one or the other. iPanda, thanks for the sub, man. Peter Piper picked a pickled peppers. It was awful. And D4, thanks, man. 16 months. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to streaming more, guys. A lot of it will just be on Twitch for the programming streams. If it's a big stream where we're doing like an entire Linux install or Windows done install, that'll probably make a YouTube video at the end of it all. I'll probably do that and make it public across all channels. Where if it's just these more condensed programming streams where it's mostly just kind of us going back and forth, maybe answering some questions from chat, and then just getting some pull requests and other programming stuff done and just kind of hanging out. These I'm just gonna leave over here on Twitch. It just makes my life easier. I don't have to worry about like thumbnails and all that other stuff, and I can just go live all the time and never have to worry. So that's my thought process on going forward on the live streams, because I am very productive on these and I need to get back to programming more and being more productive. So we'll try this out. see how it goes. I think it's good. From what I understand, the TOS applies the executable version of Firefox, not the source code. So any forks like LibreWolf, use of the source won't be applicable. Okay. Yeah, DaVinci Resolve in Linux is not a great experience. You can get it to work, but man, there's so many little asterisks next to it to where it's like, screw it, I'm just going to dual boot Windows and install Resolve in Windows. And that's kind of what I've resigned to for the most part. But if I only had one system to do it on, nah, I'd just dual boot at that point. I just don't think Resolve in Linux is even worth it. I just don't. You just lose so many features that I just prefer to have the Windows counterpart. So, I mean, that's just my history with it, which I use Resolve extensively. So, help on my repo. Little context. It's a guide for my Arch install. I also try to hatch the Arch community. I'm sorry. Because I don't know what to fix or how to make it easier for the rest of them. Would you like to? Yeah, sure, Yordle. What do you got? Hit me with a link. Oh, I can't remember. Okay, cool. It did work. So you're doing KDE, Capuchin KDE. All right. Rock on. All right. What do we got for where's your script? Oh, okay. So you're just installing a bunch of files? What about your comp files and that? Let's see. Huh. So just this main setup file is what you're doing. Here we go. No. Okay. What were you having a problem with? Oh, you want to make your own script. Oof. Well, you don't really have anything except some dependencies here. There is a lot to go over. I think we still have... I did my Arch script and automated the entire thing over the course of 10 hours. I don't know if you want to sit through that, but there's a lot that goes into it, from the auto partitioning to configuring things. I mean, there's quite a bit. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, oh, Yordle. Yeah, if you want a fully automated Arch install script, I don't know what else to tell you than otherwise be prepared for lots of pain. There's not a really quick fix here, because I remember during my Arch install script, when we went and did it on stream, I did it all in one day, but it was about a total of, I want to say 8 to 10 hours worth of streaming, where I just sat there and just pounded away on my bash script. But basically, it's, if you look at the script itself, which here I can pull it up to give you some reference, to maybe cut down on that time a little bit. I originally did it in Arch Titus, was the repo, but I pulled it into here and we made it part of the tabs, security system, Arch, server setup. So this was, let me link this in chat for you. This is something you could use and then just strip what you need. It's all open source, so you know, you can learn quite a bit from it. But essentially, it's just a standard bash script. So your bash script's getting set here, redirecting the standard output to Arch setup. And this is just some graphics. A quick echo. These are functions that will get called down below. So we set up each of these functions. And then once these functions are set up, you can see each function and how it's doing and all the different setups we do, from drive SSD, partitioning, user information. And then here's where the calls start happening for each function. So first, we do background checks. Is Pac-Man being used? We clear it, display the logo. We get the user information. Hey, what do you want your username and password to be and the system name? We clear it, display the logo. All right, now it's time to partition the drive. So then we do all the partitioning, clear, logo, file system. Continue with the, once we've cleared that out and made the partitions, now we need to put a file system on it. We put an ext4 or BetterFS. Clear it, logo. Then we set up the locales, such as the time zone and key mapping. And then it finishes through this, kind of goes through. The BetterFS subvolume still quite doesn't work. I still have work to do with this script. And then once it finishes, it should set like your swap file and like the login manager and those types of things, and like specific dependencies. So it gets kind of involved. The total line is only about 600 line items here, that we've done a lot of trial and error. So I would just take this script, cut it up how you want, and then just kind of change it to your needs. And if you want to credit me, cool, but you don't have to. And I would put that in here. That may make your life a little easier, but yeah, just watch out for the partitioning and auto erasing people's drives. That's never a fun thing. So I always put big warnings anytime I try and do something like that. And Godspeed. Yeah, D4. A lot of the times, like I still am a big proponent for the dual boot. I think dual booting is still great. Hey, Dragon Skies, how you doing, man? Thanks for the prime. 19 months. All right. Yeah, but I'll get back to the programming streams, at least on Twitch. I'm primarily put them all here, and then they'll be over on YouTube members just to have them for an archive. Yeah, time flies, man. It does not feel like I've been streaming that long. I don't think I have, actually. I think it was kind of wild. Yes, also using like a GPT. Honestly, Claude doesn't get enough love. My actual AI of choice for programming or explaining programming languages or explaining codes, frankly, I don't think anything beats Claude. Like, you go Claude 3.7, I think it is now. Dude, it is amazing. To me, Claude beats the living pants off of DeepSeek and GPT. So everyone's always like talking all this hype around OpenAI or the China's DeepSeek, and I'm like, you know what? Everyone must be sleeping on Claude, because when it comes to programming, I don't think either one touches Claude. In my experiences, Claude has always netted the best result, or at least 80 or 90% of the time. Just my thoughts. All right, y'all. Oh, Alex, you coming in right at the end, man. I'm shutting it down, but I'll be streaming more. I'm gonna get back to programming more. We got a bunch of pull requests done today. We got probably some Windows utility on the way. Next week I'll stream some Windows utility work. Got to get that. There's a big pull request I wanted to get done. I know my Drift user's working on finalizing some of his stuff. I was just going to merge what he has, and then I'll work through any bugs that might come from that PR. It's a big PR for the Win utility, but it fundamentally changes the way people install the programs through the utility. So we'll do some more. It'll sit on the dev branch for quite some time, but I wanted to give him one last crack at it before I just merge it into the main dev branch over there. And we'll keep working on Linutil. I think we'll just keep hammering away. That's how these things work, is just go in there every couple months and kind of go sprints and see where we're at in a couple years, you know? It's more about the little incremental improvements over time. Had too much work today. I hear that, man. I hear that. Or just use Arch install from Arch. Agreed. Like Arch install, Bojan, totally agree. The only reason I created that script is I just wanted something that installed things super fast. Like I wanted to be able to just take 2 minutes out of my day, install Arch, and be done. Where the Arch install script, a lot of times, I don't want to answer a whole bunch of questions. I just want my settings in. So that's what really Arch Titus turned into, because Arch install, actually, funny fact is Arch install script was around before Arch install was a thing, and it did a pretty good job of filling in that hole. And then Arch install came onto the scene, kind of sucked right out of the gate, but then they fixed it. Now Arch install is amazing, and there's no reason to use third-party scripts, because before my script there was ArchFi, and ArchFi, is ArchFi still around? The ArchFi script was what I loved to use to install Arch back in the day. Okay, 3 years ago. I want to say ArchFi was a SourceForge. Yeah, so this was ArchFi back in the day. You would do a wget archfi.sf.net, ArchFi, and then just run it direct. And it hadn't been updated in 2 years, it doesn't look like. Yeah. So, yeah, Arch install now. But ArchFi was one of the, I think it was the first really great scripts for Arch installs. But Arch install now is probably the de facto standard. Although it still breaks on me. Sometimes Arch install doesn't work. I think last time I tried to install Arch, it didn't like the fact I had like 8 different hard drives on my system, and it crashed. So I ended up having to do Arch Linux the old school way. It still works. It's fine. But, all right, y'all. Have a great one. Thanks for hanging out today. I'll get back to streaming these over on Twitch and get back to some programming stuff, because I really want to keep making this progress and getting the Linux utility and Windows utility really in the best shape possible, and getting more of these fundamental things and kind of building it all in. I wouldn't say Arch install is amazing. It lacks options, and it's written in Python. Oh, thank you for the correction there, Adam. 2-point deduction from Arch install just because it's written in Python. Thanks for the correction. It's gross. I remember you were saying not many distros can handle your setup. Yeah, it does. It's true. Like a lot of standard Linux distros do die in the middle of my install. Oh, for sure, Alex. Well, I'll be on next week too. I think next week we'll probably hit up Linux utility and Windows utility again. More of the programming streams I'm just going to put over here. It's just so much easier for me. And a lot of the programming streams are great while it's live, but relivability, that's why I kind of made them private on YouTube, is just because, or members only, because it's not good to be public. It kind of hurts the algorithm, because it's just only a select few people kind of want to see how, it's kind of like going to the butcher and going, how do you make this? And then seeing how it's getting cut up and stuff. A lot of times people just want to see the final package sitting out on the shelf. They don't necessarily want to know how the sausage is made. So these streams are really just kind of show you how that's done. And I don't think it really is good YouTube content. That's why I made them kind of settled on this. We'll see how it goes, but I like this, and it does make me more productive and accountable, where I need that. So you'll be seeing me more for sure. Oh man, we need to rework Titus Pi. OD, let me see. What do we have on do we have that on the agenda? Yeah, I need to do that. That would probably be a public stream. I'd probably leave on the main channel too. So that would be actually a global stream, because Titus Pi is a fun project. I absolutely love that. So thanks for bringing that up. All right, y'all. See y'all later. And I'll probably stream next Tuesday. I still need to get a video done, so it depends on that. But otherwise, you'll be seeing me. All right, y'all.